Hello, everybody out there on YouTube. We are the Middle Aged Guys, and we're going to be bullshitting about a game that everybody was looking forward to but got canceled on January 9th, 2017. I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
Gray Mouse one.
The game in question that we're talking about is Scalebound, which was supposed to be a Microsoft Xbox One exclusive. Anybody who's followed the particular game and its path through E3 and everything else, I believe it was originally announced out in E3 2014, and then it was showcased again in E3 of 2015, and then wildly, to everybody's surprise, it didn't show up in E3 2016, which kind of started cluing people off that maybe something was going on with the development of the game. Well, according to like certain reports going back and forth, it kind of languished a little bit where development on it was kind of halted for a little bit. And then what happened earlier this week on the 9th was that Microsoft themselves came out and said that they had officially canceled or ended their partnership with Platinum Games, the folks developing it. Now, that was pretty much a hard pill to swallow for a lot of Microsoft Xbox One owners and fans who were looking forward to the game. But what I think actually hurt a lot of people more was when Phil Spencer himself came out and he responded to it. In his words, his tweet regarding the cancellation of Scalebound, he was responding to another tweet from a tweeter called TIC Podcast, who said, "I'll be honest, at Xbox XP3, TIC are big supporters of you and Xbox One, but this one hurt. Hope E3 is mind-blowing. Feel like the base needs it to be." And then Phil Spencer responded in kind to that, saying, "Difficult decision. We believe the result is better for Xbox gamers. Still disappointing. I'm confident in 2017 lineup. That's our focus." We're going to talk about that lineup in a little bit. But yeah, a lot of Xbox One fans who heard that the whole "this is better for Xbox gamers" took it pretty fucking hard. Before I languish and monopolize our time anymore, what are your guys' thoughts on this?
You're the only Xbox One owner in this bunch. I want to. How you feel about that?
I for one was looking forward to the Scalebound, like the Reverend said. It was a neat concept that was shown out in 2014, and then 2015 came E3, and we got a little bit more. I wouldn't call it gameplay, but we got a little bit more information about it. And then, like you said, it was MIA in 2016 E3, and it made a lot of the Xbox One guys scratch their head, and we started digging around a little bit, and then there was a couple of tweets between the developer out saying that the hardware, it was tough to create this game off of the current hardware, but for Microsoft and Phil Spencer to say that, I kind of feel it was kind of like a nonchalant type of way of saying it. Like, yeah, it sucks that we lost this particular game, but look what else we have going, for the system in 2017, which we got Halo Wars 2 and several other games, Cuphead. But it really did hurt the lineup for 2017, and I have to echo what that Twitter guy said. That E3 better blow us out of water. It better be mind blowing, whether almost to a point to where Half-Life 3 is announced, and that type of mind blowing. I mean, because Crackdown 3 could only take you for so long, and State of Decay 2 could only take you so far. Scalebound was one of those unique games that we haven't played before. That you know, it kind of and it's just taken away just like that, and it's a real shame. And I feel that, you know, it seems like that Microsoft has been, you know, facing an uphill ever since release. And this, as somebody who owns the system, I really don't feel that a reason to own the system now. I mean, because the whole focus that Microsoft has right now is, you know, that they're combining their PC with their console. It's as one Microsoft formula. And, you know, then you look around, let's look around the area here. We got PlayStation 4 that has exclusive after exclusive after exclusives. And we got the Nintendo Switch with, you know, all these exclusives, you know, and then you look back at Microsoft, you're like, where are the games at? And nobody should ever say that. And I mean, it's almost a point where I should turn in my Xbox One, you know, to get a better system or a more retro system. It just, you're not encouraging me to keep my Xbox One. You're not encouraging me, or you're not encouraging people in this room that don't have Xbox Ones to buy them. There's nothing there if you really think about it. And I've been just rambling on. Go ahead, Theme.
That's why I gave you the floor first, because you're the only Xbox One owner of the middle-aged guys.
Yeah.
Now, I think, look, this is a very big disappointment because, you know, when you get, especially nowadays, when you get a video game console, you kind of look forward to its first-party support because that's the real ammunition that you need as far as owning the console.
Yeah, it's the meat and potatoes of the console.
Because without first party, I mean, every console would have the same amount,
yeah,
the exact same games, and it's like, okay, what the difference would it be? Well, these graphics are a little bit tweaked up over here than over here, and but this one has a little bit better sound with the sound bar than this. Look. With the announcement of the Nintendo Switch and what they did with their conference, what they did with everything and what they announced and everything, they did in one conference more than Microsoft has done in the last couple of years. And this is Nintendo we're talking about here. That's my opinion because of what they showed and what they presented and what they're about to do. And even bringing back third-party support, I hope.
Well, one argument that maybe somebody out there might have as well is that, you know, I did say, why was the point in having an Xbox One? They are, to Microsoft's, I guess, credit, is that they are making a lot of backwards compatible games from the Xbox 360 available for the Xbox One. And quite frankly, I think that's the best thing that they've done. But if you're canceling or delaying your future games, your future franchises, because I mean, I really thought that Scalebound could be a potential franchise. Mm-hmm. It was that interesting, it was that unique, that interesting, and I felt the you know, the companionship between the dragon and the rider or whatever it was. You know, and it just blows my mind. Maybe, you know, certain things turn sour, you know, in the development process.
One thing I will say, I will go Don Matrix on all of you. There's already a system out there that plays 360 games. It's called a 360. And I own a 360. You know, if I'm going to play 360 games, I would rather play them on the freaking 360. Now, I do understand that having the option to put your 360 games in your Xbox One and to have them run and to have them play and have the extra features, that is great. That's fine. That's dandy. That's dandy. Outstanding. Fantastic. But you got to understand that it has to have, Xbox One has to have its own exclusives in order to carry its weight. I don't understand why you would get rid of anything that's first party. period. That for me, like I say, it's very. What if Sony cancels their God of War? Could you imagine the Sony fanboy backlash?
I got one even better. What about Zero Dawn?
Oh, Horizon?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was so much that was shown already. And
Yeah.
then next thing you know, we're pulling the plug because,
and that's what it felt like. I mean, it really feels like you're, as a Xbox One owner, it feels like you've been punched in the stomach.
Or what if they would have done that to The Last Guardian?
I mean, and the thing is, though, is that it seems like they were trying to save face, per se, by saying that, maybe it was better that it was canceled. You got all these other guys that are coming forward and said, maybe the game sucked. Maybe it is for the best interest of Microsoft that this got canceled. So what would you rather have? Would you rather have a shitty game released that just flops? Or would you rather have a canceled game and you never know?
I will. Okay, for the folks who are sitting there that are saying that maybe it's better it didn't come out because it was, rumors are that it was shitty in development. I'm going to call you out to the floor right fucking now because here's the truth of the matter, all right? We will leave a link to the confirmed exclusives for the Xbox One in the description of this video, all right? When the physical releases confirmed for 2017 can be counted on one fucking hand, all right? And I go ahead and I look at the Switch of all places. I have to sit there and bust out my toes and unzip my pants in order to go ahead and count the fucking releases. I'm gonna tell you right now that, hey, look, this whole better off without, you don't have a lot of family members to count on here.
Ooh.
Right? I'm just gonna say that right now.
Damn.
Here's the thing: the backstory with Scalebound is Hideki Kamiya, the founder of Platinum Games, who's a former Capcom employee. He's the guy who created the Devil May Cry series. All right, he was one of the founders of Clover Studios, who created Beautiful Joe and Okami and the other great Capcom franchises from the PS2 that people couldn't get experiences that, comparable anyplace
else. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Scalebound has been his love project. It's something that he has been working on or working toward for over a decade. All right, so it was in development or something that he wanted to go ahead and put together even before Microsoft saddled up to it and said that they were willing to go ahead and provide him funding to go ahead and publish it out. The thing with the exclusive games, and Grey Mouse was talking about this right now. He was pointing it out, and we mentioned this in the Nintendo Switch video. Without those exclusive games, without those reasons for me to go ahead and own this particular console, guess what? All I got in front of me is expensive fucking paperweight.
Think about this. What if the Nintendo Switch didn't have Breath of the Wild on it?
Or anything. But it really isn't. It really doesn't.
Oh, just Breath of the Wild alone, because that would seriously hurt. Because Breath of the Wild was announced. And what if the Switch came out and was like, well, we're not going to put it here, and could you imagine the backlash?
Yeah.
Look, I'm not even a big Zelda fan, but I would be pissed if that would have happened.
One interesting thing that I'm not trying to give false hope to anybody, but like what the Reverend just said, has mentioned that he has been working on this for a decade. So it wouldn't surprise me
if it ended up somewhere else.
If it ended up as a GoFundMe, or not a GoFundMe.
How about a Kickstarter?
A Kickstarter. And it really depends on how much Platinum Games owns the IP.
And that's one of the things.
That's the hiccup.
Well, that's one of the things that a lot of people have been speculating on. And the thing is that Microsoft has been rapidly taking down any sort of Scalebound media on their marketing websites, the YouTube channel, and everything else.
Yeah.
Which tells me that if they can't host the media, they can't make revenue off that media, that they probably don't own the IP.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that Platinum Games still has rights over the IP as far as Scalebound goes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether or not it shows up someplace else, whether it be PS4 or Switch or someplace else, is completely up in the air.
That would be ridiculous.
That would be
if I see
devastating.
Scalebound at E3 on Nintendo Switch or on a PS4, I will rant about that, even though I'm a PS4 owner. Because it's just a simple fact of the matter that competition makes this industry thrive, and I want each and every console to have their exclusives and do well. That's what I really, really fucking want, regardless of what console it is. I don't care. I want everybody out there to have, yes, everyone's going to have their preferences, and I want everybody to have their gaming experiences. I can understand the fanboy garbage. I hate that. But I really feel that every console should have their exclusives.
Well, they need their exclusive to set them apart from the others. We've used that example before, like, PlayStation, you can only play this game here. Nintendo, you can only play this here. Xbox, you can only play this here. And that without having competition, the companies get complacent.
It's not that this time it's going to PC and Xbox One. They canceled it all together.
Yeah.
That's what really, really kills.
My hope is that if they find a different publisher, somebody to go ahead and hand them funds to finish developing
Only Computer Entertainment,
or
Nintendo,
or somebody else entirely. If they sit there and we see this end up on Steam, because if it was going to end up on like the under the Play Anywhere market scheme, where it's going to be on the Windows 10 fucking marketplace and shit like that, it's already going to PC.
Valid point.
I would.
You're absolutely right.
I would love to see it come out. Is it going to happen? Nobody knows. And right now, the folks at Platinum Games are pretty much they're radio silent on it. They're probably hedging their bets, and they're probably going out of their way, or maybe there's some sort of legal obligation where they can't talk about it just yet. So hopefully something like that will come up. But like I said earlier in the video, the problem that we're running into with the Xbox One, and I'm not speaking facetiously here, is that the number of exclusive titles that they have in their lineup is extremely low. It's completely anemic.
That's the sad part. We're not even being facetious about this.
Yeah, I'm not joking around. I'm all over jumping on the Xbox -359 fucking line, because guess what? I haven't heard that anyplace else, and that's my fucking line when I go ahead and I talk about it, especially when I'm poking fun at the console. But the truth of the matter is, when I said earlier in this video that when you look at the physical releases that are confirmed for this year, as far as retail releases, there's only 5 of them. Literally 5.
How many does the Nintendo Switch have at this point?
At this particular point, if I'm looking at the Nintendo Switch for exclusive releases, at retail, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 of them.
And that's for 2017 alone.
Well, it's at least confirmed. Not all of those are for 2017.
Okay,
And guess what? They're confirmed exclusive titles for a platform that hasn't even
now, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that, okay, even the Xbox One confirmed may not even be this year?
Yeah. They may be delayed.
Come on. I mean, Damn, man.
Well, I mean, Phil Spencer did say a year ago that they're more focused on third party.
Why?
Well, no, I mean the third party.
You can have third party, and we will enjoy third party, but there has to be specific weapons for your console first party.
Well, see, the thing is, though, I think they milked the Halo cow for so long. Halo's not even a weapon anymore. Maybe Halo Wars is. Halo Wars 2.
What about Gears?
Gears is also in that same situation.
They gave up Fable.
And Fable's gone. Scalebound's gone.
They gave up Project Gotham.
Project Gotham gone. Crackdown, I mean...
Yeah, Crackdown 3 is set to come out, but that's
Crackdown 3 is still coming. But it's the fact that, okay... Crimson Skies, Fusion Frenzy, Bloodwake. I've even Kung Fu Chaos. I've said all those Microsoft titles before. Mechasalt. I mean, all of these things can just be there.
Yeah.
As weapons, as ammunition. Even the funniest part about it is the Nintendo Switch has third party that's going to be exclusive to it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I think. Unfortunately, where we're sitting at, and believe me, folks, we're not trying to harp on Microsoft, but just looking at this from an objective point of view, I'm almost getting the impression that Microsoft has been tied up into trying to change their place in the market where it reflects more something that that matches up to what's being offered through mobile devices and trying to sit there and front end services through Xbox Live than they have actual games.
It's fucked up when portables have more exclusives on it than consoles.
Well, I think I've said it before in a couple of videos that I felt that the direction that Xbox was going was in the wrong direction by using the PC. I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to bring in the PC people into their Xbox One, but that's not working. They should have never. They should have never had. I mean, how many E3s have we all sat through and heard that stupid saying that Xbox console exclusive, PC exclusive,
Windows 10
and Windows 10? How many times have we? How many times have we hear? We heard that everything they announced last year.
And no, it's not the same as PS4 and Vita.
No,
it's not. That's not the same.
And I think that direction, that focus.
Does the Vita have more exclusives than the Xbox One?
I believe it does.
It's way over. The Vita there's so many.
I thought that was a legacy system.
Well, half of the, if you're counting all the imports, it completely eclipses it. Yeah,
imports for Xbox One. Oh yeah, okay.
No,
you're talking about the Vita.
No, but I know that was my point leading up to that. It's fuck, you're not gonna have that. So,
I mean, well, guys, if you watch this video at this particular point, at this this long, please let us know in the comments below. What you think of Scalebound being canceled. I love to read it. And what's your impression of the Xbox One in general?
One question I would like to ask anybody that's an Xbox One owner, and or if you're going to get a Scorpio, let's assume that they keep going by this track. Let's assume that 2017's E3 for Microsoft does not deliver as far as first party titles. Are you still going to be interested in a Scorpio?
Let me, as an Xbox One owner, no. The only thing that would bring me to buy an Xbox Scorpio would be if they come up with new, fresh franchises at E3, unless they reveal, new IPs, new stuff. Because I really have no desire, like I said at the beginning, and it hurts me to say this, that I have no desire to continue to buy games for the Xbox One. Nothing really interesting. I mean, yeah, I want to play Crackdown 3. I'll probably play that. And I'll probably play the Halo 2, Halo Wars 2. And I definitely want to play Cuphead. You know, but
is it Cuphead an indie game?
That's what I was going to. 2 out of those 3 I just mentioned are going on PC.
Yeah.
So
we built you a really nice PC just a few months ago too.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm just going to get a Steam account and be done with it. I mean, Microsoft, I don't know what you're doing. I don't understand what you're doing. You're really shooting yourself in the foot with this. And
what about the HoloLens?
That's not even being marketed out to the general public. That's only being marketed out to like industry engineers.
We have not heard anything about that since
E3 2015.
No. I think E3 14. I think it was.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been about 2 years.
They demonstrated it on E3 2015 with
Minecraft. Yeah, but it's out there. But the people who, the only people who use it are like it.
See, even Microsoft, they bought Minecraft.
Yeah.
Or Mojang. What is it?
The thing about it is that they're willing to go ahead and license the game out and spend money for them without much stuff.
Mind blow. Why it's being licensed out to the Nintendo Switch?
Well, now wait a minute. Well, Minecraft is already on the PS4 and even on the Wii U.
I understand that, but why are you going to lend it out to a brand new system?
Okay, look. The point is this, and I'm just going to harp on this. The reason why Nintendo is, in the running or surviving or living or prospering or anything like that is because of their first party. Okay? They have enough weapons of their first party, and they are going to expand on their first party as far as creating new experiences for their first party. Sony, yeah. They don't have big weapons as far as their first party, but they at least have exclusives that they can build upon if those exclusives do well. That's what Microsoft Xbox brand needs at this point. They need to just take a chance, take a shot, just have games that you can only play on that console, period. That you can't get the experience from it anywhere else and have a whole library of that.
That's not their focus. Their focus is to have games is play everywhere. That is your focus. I mean, look, even the CEO of Microsoft.
They can play it everywhere, but just on their console.
No, CEO.
Switches play everywhere.
The CEO of Microsoft, there was an article maybe about a year ago saying that was their focus. They're trying to narrow the console and the PC. That's their vision. And as long as they have that vision, they're going to continue to be lackluster. And that is bullshit, And the thing is, though, what would happen if the Switch takes over for Microsoft, and actually Microsoft is number 3 now?
It won't happen. I'm going to say that right now. It won't happen, at least not for the next few years. Okay, so then I don't have to worry about that. But I will offer up this, that in regards to what...
The Switch is sold out.
In regards, yeah, but every Nintendo fucking console before launch is sold out, all right? So I'm not... Yeah, that happened with the Nintendo 64. They still ended up 3rd. So I'm not taking that as Bible, scripture or anything.
Well, the thing is, though, the problem with that is that Microsoft's been hiding their numbers for the last 4 years, or last 3 years, rather.
I think, yeah, but the one thing that they can't hide is, raw sales numbers that retailers go ahead and put out. One of the things about what I think Microsoft can do, all right, is that, yes, they can still go ahead and insist on following this Play Anywhere thing and integrating, a crossover between Windows 10 and Xbox Live and everything else. Because guess what? That's just on a software and infrastructure level. That really doesn't change release strategies or anything like that. what they can do, and this is part of what the team said, they can do what Sony did when they first put out the fucking PlayStation. Find developers out there who have good ideas, who are starving for exposure on a major platform.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if Sony never did that, Core, Crystal Dynamics, a lot of the folks, Insomniac Games, Naughty Dog, they would not be the big players that they are now. If Microsoft can still go ahead and do their crossover bullshit with the Play Anywhere stuff, but if they went out of their way to go ahead and nab projects from creative development teams and said, hey, look, we're going to give you a big opportunity to make the game that you want. It's going to be on the Xbox One. Then they can go ahead and give people a reason to buy their shit again, a reason to keep their shit around. All right? Because, you know, I don't want it to sound like we're harping on this unneedlessly, but if you haven't paid attention to the last 15 minutes in this video, we haven't been smiling and we haven't been joking around. All right? The whole thing with Microsoft, if they succeed, that's great for gaming. All right?
Yes.
If any other platform or first-party publisher goes out of their way and they do good, a rising tide rises, you know, influences, raises all boats. That's what we're looking at here. And Microsoft, as harsh as the consumer reception has been ever since 2013 for them, okay, there has been moments in time over the last few years that they've shown pockets of brilliance where they're like, okay, we can get this on track. We can fix this, all right? But guess what? When anybody, it doesn't matter if they're a hardcore fan who owns your system, who goes out of your way and looks forward to every brand new release or anything like that, if they look at your lineup and they see that your exclusive lineup, like I said, can be counted on one fucking hand, all right, and that if you have any of the other platforms out there that you can get any other major game that's being released, you're not giving them a big, you know, reason to go ahead and keep a hold of your platform. And that's just the truth of the matter. They can fix this. All right. It's not like Microsoft doesn't have enough money to fix this. They can fix this. They just have to change their direction just a little bit, do a few things differently, and stop fucking people by sitting there and attaching shit through fucking paywalls and shit like that, you know, and come out with some good fucking games.
Or at least exclusives. I mean, damn, Ratchet and Clank is a Sony exclusive. It doesn't do all that well, but it's something that you can only get on Sony.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a stellar thing. It's not like the Uncharted games, but it's a solid game that you can only get there. You know, and
it's still solid.
Well, you know, The Last Guardian's another one.
Yeah, you know, I mean, reception on that has been generally, even the positive reception has had critical things to say about The Last Guardian. You know, that's just the critics being honest. You know, but again,
you can't play it anywhere else.
Yeah, you can't play it anywhere else. So people are going to go to that platform. You know,
and the thing too is, you know, there will always be multi-plats, you know, games, third-party games, and right now it seems like, you know, Microsoft has the low end of the graphics. You know, people are looking for, I mean, because now PlayStation 4 is the system to have those multi-plats on, because it just runs better, it looks better. But that's your they actually, some of them run 60 frames per second and others runs 30 on Xbox One. Yeah. But that's all perspective, you know. I mean, so it just, if Microsoft will change direction, like you said, a little bit, and start focusing on capturing, you know, whether you have to create your own new IP, I find that more refreshing is to, you know, it's nice to see old IPs get the next sequel or the next numbered game. That's fine. But where my interest lies, and it always has lied, is in these new, fresh IPs that nobody's seen before.
I mean, look at
for
Cuphead.
I was ecstatic. That is a unique game.
Because as someone that doesn't own an Xbox One, I was like, now that's
something that you could get
good.
behind.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay, now do this and create some more good shit, and then I will be interested in your console. You know that, and I would actually buy it and I would actually play it, and I'd be like, yeah, I own that shit. And wait, do I recommend it? Yes, and here's why. I'm not seeing that as of right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, if you can count, on your what we have 4. We have what? Cuphead. We have Wars 2, Crackdown 3, State of Decay, and
Phantom Dust.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah,
That's actually
excuse me. Yeah. Crackdown, Halo Wars 2, Phantom Dust, Sea of Thieves, and State of Decay.
Oh, and Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves. Yeah. I forgot about that. I guess because I'm not really interested in that style of game.
That's the thing.
But that's fine, though. Some people are.
Yeah.
But, like, Phantom Dust, that's more of my style. Cuphead's more of my style. I'm really starting to get tired. Crackdown's more of my style, too. But Halo 2, I'm tired of the Halo series. I'm tired of the Gears of Wars. It's time to move on and make another IP. But Microsoft is not doing that. I mean, it's so. Take a page out of Sony's book. Look at all the things that they put out and will put out this year. And your list is only 5. Of course, this is foresight because we don't know E3 this year. I mean, like I said,
now the expectations are now. It's like this. Microsoft has got to knock it out of the park at E3 this year because the last 2 E3s they've been behind Sony.
Well,
if they fall behind Nintendo at this year's E3, then they're gonna have a lot of issues.
Well, 2016 E3 wasn't so bad.
It wasn't so bad, but the problem with the 2016 E3 is that one of the things that a lot of people were waiting for. Guess what? It's no longer showing up. It's now a fucking vapor dream. And
that's exactly what I was going to mention too. I was going to say, I'm sitting here I'm struggling to remember Microsoft's 2013 conference.
Yeah.
I am literally sitting here trying to remember what they announced.
And I think what's up is that like I said a few minutes earlier in this particular video, folks, if you're watching this up to this point, we're not harping on Microsoft because we just want to go ahead and take jabs at them and kick them while they're down. Because guess what? They are number 2 in the industry, which still makes them a lot of money. All right. We would like them to do better, and generally speaking, just seeing what other companies have done ever since the late 70s and early 80s, there are things that Microsoft can do that doesn't involve like huge groundbreaking changes that they can do to go ahead and improve their outlook. Like I said, if they went out of their way and just looked at developers and sat there and made it easy for developers and publishers to get on board with them, just like multiple other competitors have done, years, decades beforehand, it could really help them in the long run. But where we're at right now, it's trying to dip into the Microsoft pool or the Xbox pool to sit there and see how deep that experience is. Unfortunately, the folks who are stepping that direction are seeing that it's really shallow, ourselves included. And guess what? Gray Mouse is a fan.
Let me say this real quick. If you're familiar with our channel, all of us sat here, we criticized Nintendo. We definitely criticized Sony. And Microsoft is not exempt from any criticism either. So if you think that we're sitting here, harping on Microsoft, check the other videos that we have. We have tore Nintendo apart. We have tore Sony apart. So unfortunately, I don't like doing this. You don't like doing it. But look, Microsoft, you have got to do better. And I agree 100% with what Reverend said. Right now, your pool is about as deep as a puddle on the ground right now. There's nothing there to entice people to go out and buy your system.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't play video game systems. I play video games. You know, I'm a gamer first. A fanboy is a very, very kilometer distant second somewhere.
He said kilometer, not mile.
It's way out there. I just look. Yes, I like certain genres, but fuck, I'm not gonna be a closed-minded gamer for systems and or games. I'm just not. But in order for me to be interested in the Xbox One and or Scorpio, it has to have a lot of freaking first-party content on it
that you can't find anywhere else.
That you can't get anywhere else. Not on PC, not on a Microsoft Portable if they ever make one, not on Sony, not on Nintendo, none of that. It's got to be on their console. It's got to be there.
Yep. And that's what's going to convince you, just like myself, and just like Gray Mouse, just like actually most mass consumers out there. That's what's going to convince people to actually go out of their way to buy what you're offering them. You know. And yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up what we're trying to say. You know, it's been kind of a disappointing week with Microsoft with the cancellation of Scalebound. Not just the cancellation of Scalebound, but how they reacted to it and how they addressed it was definitely a letdown to a lot of people. Because yeah, I don't know whether or not it's because they're dealing with legal things or other marketing or contractual obligations because of how things went down. Maybe they aren't able to address it in another light. But yeah, that was definitely not very good. And considering that we're looking into this new year, 2017, and we're looking at what Microsoft has to offer us on an exclusive level is woefully, shallow. It's one of those things that we can't ignore. We would like to know your thoughts and comments on this. Is there something we're missing, or are we, I don't know, are we crying wolf over this? None of us are saying that Microsoft is going to lose their place in number 2, at least for the next few years. But, you know, granted, taking a look at the forecast, there isn't a lot to look forward to. Even the most staunch of Xbox supporters, if they look at what's been announced, what's been confirmed, they have to come to that sort of realization.
Well, let me add something. I'm sorry, I don't want to make this video longer than it already is. But one thing I want to make perfectly clear is that we're looking at the Xbox One exclusives going forward from 2007 or 2017, 2018. There are some Xbox exclusives in 16, 15, 14. They're there. We acknowledge that they're there, but what we're talking about is like new owners, people that don't own the system. I guess you could include older games in an exclusive list, but most people are, when they buy a system, they look at the future of that system, not what was released in the past. I mean, since 2017 is so lackluster in first-person exclusives, so far up until, this is January 14th, 2017. January 15th, I'm sorry. And so we're a couple months away from E3, so we have no idea what Microsoft is going to announce. So
what, backwards compatibility from the Xbox original?
They were actually talking about that while you're bullshitting. Seriously. Yeah, that was something that Spencer was talking about.
That's why I brought it up.
But the thing is that we're looking at it toward.
Also, is that the way to get Crimson Skies on there?
Oh my God, that's terrible. That's so funny. It's terrible. But you messed me up. My whole train of thought's gone because of that. That's a damn shame. I mean, if you put the Nintendo Switch now and your PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, and you're looking at games in the forward.
I'm more interested in getting the Switch than the Scorpio.
Yeah, and that really kind of that makes a point right there.
So that's what, and that wasn't even a major. Well, it was a major conference, but it's not a annual conference. It's whenever Nintendo wants to do a direct. But the thing is, what I was saying is that we're criticizing Microsoft's future games and future endeavors, and it's crap. I mean, this is coming from a guy who owns an Xbox One. It's shit.
No, I don't. I wouldn't say that it's shit or it's crap, because the thing is that something stinky and voluminous and tactile has to be there in order for it to be shit. There's just nothing there right now, and that's the thing. All right,
you're right.
It doesn't qualify to be.
You're right. You can't shit something out that you haven't ate.
Yeah, yeah.
Is what he's saying. That's pretty much what you're saying.
And that's really where we're at. We're going to go ahead and we're going to leave it at that. You know, if you're so kind, like I say at the end of every video, leave us a comment below, hit like, hit subscribe. We are the Middle-Aged Guys, and we've been bullshitting about the cancellation of Scalebound and the outlook of Microsoft exclusives, especially heading into 2017. Unfortunately, spoilers, everybody, it's not a lot. I am the Reverend. Yep.
Gray Mouse 1.
Once again, for the benefits of common sense, logic, and lack of fucking games, lack of gaming, canceling games, canceling exclusives. Stop that, please. I want to be interested in order to get this fucking console so I can fucking.
So look what you just said. You want to be interested in.
Yes, please. I own an Xbox original. I own the 360 because the interest was there. The first party was there. The third party was there. So, damn it, Xbox One, what the fuck are you doing? Snap out of that shit.
Xbox One exclusive per year.
I'm going to end this right now. Credits. Just, yeah.